International. Personal about the world been smooth, excited to begin with. On WBSW Radio, we're going to make it really good. It's the number one international radio number one. We're the first to introduce the world to the national internet station, the social sites. So enjoy what we have today. I'm excited because America making it do what it do. My. I am Dr. Larissa D. I'm excited to come before you today on WPSW Radio, the number one internet station. And the show we have there is Straight Talk, No Chaser, where we just focus on everyday action, everyday issues, and what we can do maybe to offer a solution or offer change. Today's topic title is marriage, modern marriage and relationships are breaking up in the first 5 years. This is on Straight Talk, No Chasing. We're just trying to let you know there's a reason. We're going to focus on some things today. Hopefully, we'll bring some insight to it and be where you can be able to look at your own personal situation or someone in your family, your friends, or your confidant. The website where you can check us out is WBW Radio, the internet station, 23.wic.com. Also, you can chat with the host by joining me as a guest on StreamYard. And the link is StreamYard.com slash ABPLCQCQW as well as 682. So that's the StreamYard lockup. So just check us out. We're glad if you just sign on to StreamYard.com and go to ABPLCQW687, so 682. Want to share your opinions, stories, and examples with the world, live with me as well. You can go to C2 at WBSW WBSW Radio, Facebook.com, Big O Live, and TikTok Live, and that's at Dr. L. D'Alberto Smith. You also have an opportunity to go to several other sites that's available for you. We have StudioRadio.co, is WBW Radio, the internet station, 23, Super Live at WSW Radio, Internet Radio, Tango.com, WSW radio 14059, Twit at Dr. L. Alberto 2017. We have two channels on YouTube working. First at the Smithway Enterprises, and then also we have Dr. Lorenza D'Alberto Smith, and that's the channel also where you can check it out. So we truly, truly thank you for just joining us on whatever social media site you're on. If you want to go check out on-demand episodes, they're available for WBSW Radio by going to Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Instagram, Snitchers, Pandora, Spotify, and Amazon Podcasts. It is operated by PodServe FM, so go to podservefm.com and it'll populate the information. Type in WBSW Radio. You can listen to our many shows that we have. WBSW Radio, the #1 internet station, has listeners and watchers in 60 countries and on 6 continents. We're an interactive platform that we take an opportunity to hear what you're saying, whether you're typing in your comments or whether you just want to join us live. We will we'll set it up so when you ask for a request, we will be able to address your request. We'll make sure only the individuals that have pictures. We're not doing symbols. We're not doing where there's no picture. You need to have a picture. So make sure you send one if you're making a request and it has a picture on there, so we can actually at least see who it may be that we're talking to. Also, we'd like you to know that you can register for WBSW Radio giveaways, where we have a raffle on hotel stays, gift cards. Then we actually do have gift bags that we put together. We have book bags that we have together. We have food vouchers, gas vouchers, movie passes. These are things we're raffling off. And we have car wash, detail up to $75, no matter where you are in this country or even in another country. Give us a price and we'll make sure we send it up to $75 where they can clean your car like you want to be clean. So truly, truly want to be able to give back, and it's just a blessing to be able to give back. So thank you so much for your support. So what I'm trying to adjust now is my volume on one of my sets, because it keeps coming with a lot of advertisement, and we thank those individuals trying to share with us. Then also, if you want to put your name in to receive, or if you want to win the Tarot, the Greek Tarot, whatever fraternity is sorority, a Mason or a Shriner, Eastern Star, we can provide you with that professional. We will have a professional giveaway of professional varsity jackets, shirts. We have colleges, we have high school, middle school, all the different apparel we have will be raffling off, but that particular day it'll tell you that we're raffling off that. So truly we want you to be a part of it. You need to send your name along with a means of transaction. That's Bitcoin, that's Venmo, PayPal, Cash, and Zelle. You send it to Lorenza D. Smith 15@gmail.com. Some people say Zelle. You can send it to me. We really, really appreciate it. And what we do with your means of transaction, along with your name, we send out love offerings through just whether you win a raffle or not. Even if you win one, you still will get something from $5 to $150. So send it to maybe your birthday coming up. You might be the one to get that $150, but it has your name along with a means of transaction. Repeating: Bitcoin, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle. You need to make sure that you can type it in here. If you're on a social media site, you have an opportunity to send to me. through a DM, or you need to have opportunity to send to me through the messenger that's there, or just simply a message to me. Send it to me with your name along with a means of transaction, the five we mentioned. Repeat them: Bitcoin, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle. Send it that way, or send it Lorenza D. Smith 15 at gmail.com. LORENZA as in David, SMITH 15 at gmail.com. Send your name with one of those means of transaction so we can put you in a raffle. I'm excited about being able to come today to you as well. Just asking you to monetize with us by going to Facebook. You're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Big O Live, Super Live, Tail, Twit, YouTube. Have a chance to monetize with us. Take advantage of that opportunity. That'll be WBSW Radio. So we thank you so much. We want to congratulate the team at WBSW Radio and with the ownership for being able to work through 8 years, 8 years of service to the community. Congratulations on the 8th year anniversary. That was on September 22nd of this year. And to the WBSW Radio, the #1 internet station family, congratulations. And thank you for all you are doing. Thank you for your support. Whatever it may be, nothing you're doing is too small. Everything you do is big. So we want to make sure we move forward and recognize you as well. As we move to our title, which is Modern Marriage and Relationships Are Breaking Up in the First 5 years. You ask yourself, why is that happening? What is going on? I think one of the biggest challenges that people in getting married now is the conventional thought process. We have people challenged in their mind that how do I want to live my life? I want to be a conventional person. I want some traditional in my life. Traditionally, you're ready, say you're ready. I'm ready to be married. I understand my responsibility, my duties. Whereas a convention is that we're going to be partners, we're going to be 50-50, and truly is what you choose. But you can't split and straddle the fence. You either have to be in a marriage that require, and you asking for traditional things, and you want those things are conventional, where you want those other things. It's a choice you have to make. Don't wait till you get into the marriage and all of a sudden you want to, because you're around your confidant, your friend, they're talking about how conventional and modern their marriage is, and they want to press that on when you was asked in a proposal, you had discussion, you had time, you could have shared that from the beginning. Then if that was not agreeable for both persons, then you wouldn't be in this. You wouldn't be no need to be a part of a breakup, even a relationship, because you need to know the intention of those people that you're talking about spending a long-lasting, committed relationship with. What is your intention? If you're not going to be straightforward, if you're not going to be honest with those individuals, I pretty much think you ought to just say, I got to move and go my way till I can find somebody that wants to do, either trying to, some people try to take traditional and convention and just put them together and say, I want things traditional sometimes, then I want some things conventional. You're going to be one or the other. And other convention is modern. Or people in modern, and you say, well, I really don't want no modern, but I'm going to go do it because I'm in modern time. No, you can carry through your traditional way, understanding that if both parties, in essence, the husband and the wife, have duties and responsibilities. You have a role. You have to make sure you do role. You're asking from that person, because one of the biggest things when you listen to people in content, especially women on their own panels and everything, they want someone to be able to provide and protect and have good character. Then they want to add all these traditional things that there's a difference between men and women. We don't act that way. Men just don't act the way. We're not here to be in a long conversation with you like your friends do. Get on that phone and talk to your friends if you got all that you want to sit there and talk and do all that talking. It's all about business. See, when you get to talking too much, your feelings come in there. When your feelings come in there, you have challenges. Those challenges comes about in your relationship and your marriage. You have to make your mind up. What was your intent? What did you say in that first 60 days of that relationship? Because you had to go through the soul, which is lost, and you acquaintance part. And in that acquaintance part is when you say, what is your intention? What do you want? What do you want? You already said, well, I am truly, I feel I have great character. I feel like, you said, I know in my heart that I will provide and protect. That's going to be my role. You got to say, my role is to be agreeable, cooperative, willing to work along with you. If you're not willing to do that, then you need to go find someone else that's willing to do that with you. So the thing about it, you have to understand what is when you decide to get married. In a relationship, you can have all time, but you better be intentional about those relationships. It's amazing, and we'll get to some of the strong topics here that we want to talk about today. I was asked to speak to a young lady recently, and because the person that been trying to talk to him, which was a female, a married female, was talking to the young person who was about to complete their process in college, and they had been engaged 4 years. And they're only 21, 22 years, so they've been engaged 4 years, and their mate stays in another state. And when they ask me to talk, I'll be real. I'm saying, what is the problem? Well, I want to make sure, you said, first of all, I want to be independent. I want to make all the money I can make. Then I'll decide to get married. I said, well, then why did you accept that proposal from the young man? I said, you accepted the proposal because you wanted to have a long-lasting relationship. But now you see you're getting close to finishing with your degree, and now you want to say, now I want to extend it longer. Why did you accept that? I said, why are y'all not serious about vetting people? Why are you not serious about wasting time? Time is what you control. Energy is what you control. If you're not able to make your decision and know what your intent is, don't put someone else in a situation because you put them in holding time. I'm saying that the person you shared said the one you accepted engagement 4 years ago, now you sitting around, okay, while you was getting your degree, he was there because that person was working already and he was providing the support. Now you're getting a degree. Now you want to be independent. See, you should have said that from the beginning. See, that's what I'm talking about. Relationship. The modern marriage and even relationship is something we have to look at. What do you want? What is your intention? Too many times we don't know what we want. We don't know exactly what route we're going to take. What we want to do is have it both ways. Now let's look at what does modern marriage and relationship mean. See, modern relationship and marriage are more like to be romantic partnership. See, I don't have a problem with the word partnership, but I relate partnership to a business. Yes, you sign if you get married, you sign with the law, with the government, that a marriage license. So now, yeah, you got your part to carry, they got their part to carry. But you got to understand, you're going to be in a mateship. And a partner is focusing on a business. So what do you want? So you have these ideas of the modern way, 50-50. It does not work. I'm just telling you it don't work. You give me somebody that's come on and tell me how that 50-50 is working. That so-called partnership is working. Because it's going to be a time when you don't have your 50. So the other person got to pay 100. But what if that person said that he or she said, I'm not only paying 50. So whatever happened, happened. See, you got to understand, it's all about putting 100% in. Both of you, not just one of you. So you need to have a mateship. Mateship requires the old-fashioned way, whatever you want to do. You in new time, but you still want the same results the people in the old time had. So you have to make your mind up in your discussion what you want. Do you want a mateship or a partnership? You say you want to be friends. You can't be. You as a husband or wife talking about friends. When you talking about friends, you got responsibility. You got a role, and you have to do your part. And if you're not willing to do your part, Then that's not done. Then you friends with your old people you encounter, you've been friends with for years now, and I'm friends, your girlfriend. So you can have conversations, but the male that and the man you got is a grown man. He ain't going for this because he got to get crap done. He ain't got to sit out here and talk all the time. I got to get it done because I don't get it done, they're not going to look at you. They're going to, as the wife, they're going to look at the man. Why you didn't do what you? Because we still got a mindset of expect that person to provide and protect. If he falls short, you honest. I'm seeing yesterday some people that they quietly sit up and say, well, he got one of the places to stay. You know what I'm saying? If you're not self-sufficient, that you can take care of your own bills, take care of your own responsibility, take care of your own place that you need, have your own car, don't go out here and try to get in a relationship because you ain't ready. So as we said, how we would define or what it means a modern relationship in a marriage, it is a romantic mateship that's focusing on individual fulfillment. See, we didn't say your individuality is going to be removed just because you're a wife or a husband. You have to fulfill that too. But you also understand that I have a duty, I have a role I must play in this marriage. See, in a relationship, if you ain't ready for attention, you don't have to play anything. But we just pull that together because marriage is a relationship. We're talking about communication. You need to be able to be honest. You have to be open. If you want effective communication, you have to be an active listener. You can't get caught up in sign language, which is the acronym for shame, insult, guilt, and a need to be right. Why are you out there doing that? That's not effective communication. You want to be out there casual, go casual, be by yourself. But don't make a commitment that you're going to be in this marriage or be in this long lasting relationship as a marriage, that's the favorite outcome, and you are not willing to have effective communication. Mutual respect. Let's be real. When people don't like what you said, it may be the truth. They're going to cut you off. And they're going to keep cutting you off. Because you know why? Because they need to be right. But besides that, they don't like what you said. Now they're going to shame you. Now they're going to insult you. Then they're going to make you guilty for being or saying what you're saying. It's the truth. No one wants the truth. I have never seen in my lifetime where I am today as much lying going on with people on national levels. Oh, especially in your political party. It ain't just one, it's both of them. Both of them, they just sit there and lie, and you can have the receipts to show that lie, and they're acting like it don't exist. What happened to truth? What happened to integrity? Respect. The lack of mutual respect for each other, having mutual respect. Instead of pragmatic arrangement. See, if you want a pragmatic arrangement, get you something casual. Get you something long distance. That way you don't have to know what the person doing until they see you. But when you make that commitment to being a man, which is could be a favorite outcome, you willing to do your duty, your responsibility, and understand what you're supposed to do by, even if you don't know, research it, talk with someone, find out. But don't make a commitment and don't understand. But you just want to do it your way. You think your way is the best way. So that means no one can lead you. Especially man can't lead you. You lead yourself. Then you can be in that relationship with yourself. Get you a companion and live your life. It's okay. We have to really, really be honest about looking how we see marriage in the future. If you want a pragmatic arrangement, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't step on this area we call marriage if you're not ready to be married. If you want a partnership, then you ain't ready to be married. You're not. I want to relate to a business. So now y'all gonna be making business decisions. 50-50 is a business decision. See, because when you come into a marriage where you want a favorite outcome, it's 100. No, you don't like that, but that's the real thing. So make your mind up. See, when we talking about relationship and marriage, it often feature evolving roles, shared co-parenting, and a greater emphasis on emotional support alongside the traditional aspects of mateship. Still want the door to be open. You still want the chair pulled out. You still want the things that traditional. You want that the male to pay for everything you go out to. You want that. But you got to understand you can't get those things without being able to understand your role. When it said evolving role, yes, things are changing because more people are working, two parents are working, but you still have a role. What's wrong with it? All I ask you is define the role. Don't let the role I say is the role. You have to define that when you say, what is my intention? Vetting got to be good. You not only vet the person you plan on spending the rest of your life with, you vet what job you're going to. You vet friends. You vet people in the community. You vet business. You vet. That's why they have reviews. That's why they have, in a restaurant, they have a score up there based on the evaluation of the restaurant. If it's down to 7, you're going to turn around and go out. But why did you just vet that online? That's how you build your vetting skills so you can have a favorable outcome. So when we're talking about people want aspects of mateship, there are some key components that best explain modern marriage relationships. That includes shared growth, conflict resolution, and intentional effort to maintain connection. Even though some relationships can be fluid, reflecting modern life, fast-paced, and choices. Yeah, we have to adjust. We have to adjust. We understand that. But you have to be really, really serious about it. It can't be 20 in, 8 out. It can't be 60 in, 40 out. It has to be 100, 100. If you're not willing, just say you're not. We're talking about in the 5 years. You're not willing to give all, say you're not. Even after you've been in, I can't do this. You have to stand up and say that. So when we look at the key aspects of modern relationships and marriages, I just shared some components. Let's talk about some things that happen. I mentioned some of them in the meeting up there. First of all, a shift in focus. See, modern marriages have evolved from a primary economic and social contract into a partnership. See, a traditional marriages, you have a mateship. That's a difference. See, in a modern marriage, you look at all about yourself. You're talking about personal growth. Then you talk about trying to connect emotionally and romantic love. See, you want all the things that go with a traditional relationship. See, when you hear this, the shift in focus, it's like I saw my parents had a emotional connection. I saw my parents where both of them was growing through the process as we grew. I saw my parents romantic love. So traditionally, and they was a traditional setting. And they was married where both of them was on this earth for 55 years. what's the challenge here? Yes, it shifted the focus. But you want all the things that my parents and my grandparents had to stay into a marriage alone, but you're not willing to put it in because you're letting these things that you said primary job because you're working, making more money, and you prefer a social contract. That's what you want. Just say that. That's a shift in focus. Evolving road. There's a moving away from a rigid, traditional gender role toward a more fluent and shared approach to responsibility, like child rearing, finance, and domestic tasks. Ultimately, goal, you're going in 100%, you know, I have a problem. We got to do this is what I'm gonna take care of. You're gonna take care of it. Sometimes if you ain't able to take care, I'm gonna take care. It's still traditional. Yes, roles are evolving because more people are working, but that don't mean you can't give your 100%. 50-50 don't work. I'm telling you, 50%, 50-50 don't work. It just don't work. You're gonna stay within the title where marriages and relationships are breaking up in the first 5 years. But you can avoid that by having conversations in that intentional state. If you're not looking for that, say you're not looking at and move on. Maybe there's somebody out there give you what you fit what you need. There's nothing wrong with that. High expectations, just to let them be unrealistic expectations. Partners often expect their spouse to be a best friend. A best friend. No, not gonna work. Men can't turn women into men, and women can't turn men into women. See, your best friend is someone, in essence, see, we get this caught up, gonna be that person you communicate with, you got time to talk hours and hours with. Your, 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 your husband, your spouse don't have time at work. He got to make sure anything break, got to make sure he don't. We're not living where we living in a gated community where we have somebody come in and fix out. You have to make sure you get fixed. Even fixing it, you got to make sure you get taken care of. Confidant, that's your friend, your girlfriend. A source of emotion. You can be a source of emotional and physical support. You can show your support. Nothing wrong with that. And your physical support. Then other roles, additional other roles. What they are, we don't know. It's something people just coming up with. The roles you done like come up does not allow you to put 100 and 100 in. Because you stretch too thin. Unrealistic expectations. There's an emphasis on individual development. Yes. See, marriage is increasingly seen as a tool of self-discovery and personal development. So you can do that without getting married. You can self-discover yourself. But the good thing about this, you're going to kind of use that thought process they have. The process is that no matter how long you date and around that person, you won't know nothing about that person. You marry them and live with them. You're going to have to do that. If you're not willing to do that because you think you're going to know everything about them while you're dating, he ain't the one and she ain't the one. See, self-discovery will come once you get married because a lot of things is hidden. A lot of things, like the representative come and represent well. It's almost like you're in two different places, meaning you might be 1,000 miles away And that person, y'all just meeting at a certain time. That's what you do even if the person in the same city limits. You don't really know a whole lot. When they go to their home, you don't know what's going on. You go to your home, they don't know it. So self-discovery does happen, and you determine within these 5 years whether I want to be going through this. Personal development takes time to develop. It's going to take more than 5 years for your personal development. See, this is where both partners committed to their own growth. See, if you committed to just your own growth, then it's hard to have a marriage. See, you're gonna have your growth, but it's committed to your own personal growth and not committed to the marriage, and the marriage growing, it's not gonna work. So when you're committed to working together, you can navigate challenges together. See, then you'll be able to prioritize personal goals. See, many individuals prioritize personal, professional goals before getting married, which can impact the timing and the structure of the relationship. You're saying it's like that young person I was talking to. They want to be independent, make all the money, their own money, and do all they want to do. Then they decide to get married. Yeah, tell me, I don't care how many it is, I don't care what it's about. Because you still gonna want the traditional things out of your relationship. So you're doing it so you can make your money, so you can save your money, and tell him it's our money. The need for intentional connection. That word keep coming up. To counter the pressure of so-called modern life, successful relationship requires intentional effort. Successful marriages requires intentional effort. Being intentional in the beginning. Having a regular date, open communication, and shared experiences. You got to have an intentional connection. That works toward now your emotional connection, your spiritual connection, your financial connection, your psychological connection, and the physical connection. It all comes hand in hand. Fluidity and choice. See, the modern approach is often more fluid, with greater exception of individual choice and the possibility of different relationship structures, such as living apart, LAT. Are you living apart together and you're married? It's just like it might as well just be in a relationship. Living apart together. The common thing among modern marriages. Because you apparently can't be around each other all the time. You sleep in one bedroom, you sleep in another bedroom. And you come together maybe once or twice a week. That's living apart. Just live apart. That's what you might as well do. There's nothing wrong with it. Whenever you make the decision to do it. You know, shout out to Hattie. Thank you so much. Hattie, she said, hey, Lo, hey, Hattie, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me. Conflict resolution. See, unlike the past, modern relationships often incorporate professional help. See, in the past, you could have had conflict But your resolution would be to just go different ways and then come back together where the conflict has been addressed. But the modern ideal is to make sure we address the issues with professional help. Make sure we do that. That's what we have to do. Address the issue with professional help. You address it as individuals, then you address it together. Third, counseling. These are address the conflicts where you can't get along. Helps you to navigate perpetual problems that might come up. Because you have someone have a conversation. I tell everybody right now, there's no, no, I have no problem telling them. Yes, that's why somebody counseling, individual counseling. Because, see, I want to be the best version of myself. And when there's something and sometimes pulls you off track and the worst side come out, you need to have counseling to kind of bring you back where you're supposed to be and get on track. Because some people have an intent to do that. See, miserable people like company. See, miserable people bring misery into your life if you let them. See, don't let no one take away your peace. I don't care if it's a husband or wife or whoever it may be. They don't understand that you are looking for a peaceful moment in life and if you're trying to do it with them. If they're not happy with it, that's where the first 5 years come into play. Not advocating, because we need as many black families are married as possible. Families are the key to the success of our communities and our culture. We cannot leave and live like we need to live and be successful as a community and culture with single family homes. I'm not criticizing. Your situation may be different, but we got 80% of that single parent home and 28% of married families. There's no way the culture can survive. You ask yourself why, when we look at the numbers of black Americans on a national level, where we've been tinkering around 13, 14% for way over 40 or 50 years, you need to ask yourself why. Are we happy with it? But are we happy with not having the communities? Are we happy with not having the cultural? Maybe that's what it is. Because we're so individualized, we have evolved, like they said, that we're focusing only on ourselves and not doing it for the good of the community and the good of the culture. Ask yourself that. Have a conversation with your family members. Talk to your children about that. Do you want to put them out as an adult where they have no direction to go? No one to call their community. No one to call a culture. Because we're allowed to be destroyed by people who divided and about to conquer. Very out there. It had nothing to do with a political party. I want you to understand that. You have people on both sides dividing in their. We fight each other. We crabs in the ground. We'll pull another one down. Before we let them crab up and grab up to the top and maybe reach back for us and bring us in. What do you want? Do you want to have modern marriage or traditional marriage? Do you want to have modern relationships or traditional relationships? You have things that allow you to even have a traditional marriage and still use some of the things that causes you to involving would be incorporating professional help like counseling and therapy into your marriage, into your family. Make sure you do that. But we need to have a conversation. And that conversation is why modern marriages are breaking up in the first 5 years. There's a significant number of marriages end within the first 5 years, with over 20% of the first marriages fail in this time frame. Their first marriage. It happened to the second marriage, and it happened to the third marriage, and it happened to the fourth marriage. See, you can't get to a second until the first one fails. That's the only thing in life. When in life it said first, when you come in first, you won the trophy, you won the highest award, but in our marriage, first is last. We have a challenge ahead of us. Over 20% of the first marriages fail in this time frame. This is a critical period of adjustment, where common issues, including unrealistic expectations, poor communication, financial struggles, and a lack of shared life plan. See, the early years are often when the initial honeymoon phase fades. Honeymoon phase fades. And couples confront major differences in values in daily life. They're confronted with major differences in value, in belief, and in their daily life. Let's break it down. We look at some common reasons for early marriage breakups. The first reason is unrealistic expectation. I just mentioned it when I was talking about it, but let's talk about what exactly we're referring to. See, many couples who have unspoken assumption, you assume something about what marriage will be like, especially regarding traditional roles. Some people straddle the fence. They want traditional as well as modern. Those two don't go together, because all they're going to leave you is disappointment. See, when reality is setting in, there becomes a process of thinking. Where did I go wrong? What my expectations? The lack of preparation. People figure they go get theory, degree after degree. It prepares you for a relationship. No, it doesn't. It don't prepare you for a relationship. It prepares for you to be have credentials and competent enough to do the theory. See, marriage is about practicality. It's how you practice. Have you been trained? There was a content creator was talking, and some of the questions is, have you trained to be a wife? You have to be trained at home with your mother. So you're talking about the lack of preparation. It said couples may not be adequately prepared for the commitment. Some people can't even define commitment. Are you willing to give yourself to that relationship so it can be successful? Whatever it takes, put in the time, putting the energy, being consistent. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to be committed? So you are inadequate, prepared. You're not going to make it. Issues come up like debt. See, when you intentional, when you vet people, you'll know whether you're taking on debt with those individuals. Because once you get married, you're taking on their debt too as well. See, but you got people who want to do it the modern way because they're evolving, and they'll say, that's your debt. It's both of you because you made a commitment to be together. Difference in religious belief. That's why you see a lot of times some certain faiths don't, they don't advocate marrying a different faith. See, religion in our world today is at about 78%. I'm giving it more. Really, probably 73, 74%. When it was 20 or 30 years ago, at least 80+%. We have more non-believers. You ask them, are you a Christian? Yeah, I'm a Christian, but I just gotta believe. But I come from a background of Christian family where I was attending church, but when I became grown and I became independent, I no longer want to do it. See, you don't have to walk in brick and mortar and practice Christianity. You can practice from your home. Some people don't have a choice because they can't get out because of their ailment. They have to watch virtually, but that don't mean they're not Christians and practicing Christian. What is your belief? Atheism is on the rise. And we look at life goals. It becomes a major source of conflict. Lack of preparation is what we're referring to. Communication breakdown. See, during the adjustment period, the honeymoon phase, see, people have to make adjustment and be able to communicate to each other. Because in stress and their inability just to communicate effectively can lead to frequent arguments and a sense of growing apart. Communication breakdown, significant debt. It's amazing how some people taking out loans and they figure that, when I get married, see, that's going to help them with their student loan. Then you have some people, when they get married, they create major loans. Not without sitting down, having a plan. See, you have to have a business plan even when you get married and purchase things. Because you can create so much debt that you're living from paycheck to paycheck. You're borrowing from Peter, Paul, John to pay. Because you didn't sit down and budget actually what you have. So there's arguments. Financial stress as a strain is significant debt, loans, student loan, debt from cars you got. You want to get a car that costs you $80,000. You own a $60,000 salary. You're paying more because when you get married, and now I can continue to pay $1,000 to $1,500 for that car. But that's a stress on both individuals because they got to help you with that debt. It takes money from operating your home. So it's financial strain on your marriage. It leads to the challenges of managing finance jointly. It can put immense pressure on your marriage. You drift apart. See, a lot of couples may find that they have grown in different directions. The emotional and romantic connection can one as they navigate new responsibility and life challenges. You must prioritize what's important. Prioritizing God, family comes next, work comes after that, and community comes and anything else. If you ever put your work before your family or God, you will not have that job. You will suffer in that job. See, that's the modern way where you put work before your family. I was listening to a content creator and they had a panel asking young ladies between the ages of 19 and was like oldest person was 36 on that. And they was asking what would they, how would they handle personal happiness and family happiness. You had to make a choice. Out of the 6 people on the panel, 5 of them made choices of personal happiness. And you know, happiness is fleeting. It comes and it goes. Happiness is a feeling. So if you put your personal happiness ahead of your family happiness, then you will be by yourself. Your family is second as the order trickle down. See, you may be happy in an hour, then change your mind and get sad and get mad, get angry. It's an emotion. If you're not emotionally mature or emotionally stable, then you need your family. It keeps you grounded. So you put family happiness before personal happiness. That's a modern mind about relationships, about marriages. Because you're evolving, you want to put yourself ahead of your family. Let's be real. Let's truly be honest. You can easily drift apart, especially when new responsibilities and life changes come into play. Like on a job, more responsibility because that's what you wanted, because you want to grow up the ladder, and it takes you away from doing what you're supposed to do with your family. Myself personally, I had to realize I used to coach, I was administrator, uh, eventually climbed up to the central office and through the process of my career. But when I was coaching, I had to realize that making all the money was not important compared to my children. Be able to come home and help them with their homework. There's a study showing that children do well when they have their fathers working with them on their homework. And children have homework every day. So instead of you out running trying to get another job, another dollar, take that time and spend with your children. Your children athletes participating in sports. You get everyone in the game. Now, as I shared, I was a coach, head coach, on every level. Even our community at the YMCA, over in the Upward Basketball Pro. So I coached it all over. But when I had an opportunity to coach and choose between my daughters, spending time going to their games, than be coaching my. I chose. I'm gonna tell you, I did accept the coaching, but I made sure my game was on Wednesday and Thursday. Their game was on Tuesday and Friday, so I was right there at their games. If it was adjustment like they played on Monday, it was understood. But you have to make the adjustment. Your children are important. But you can't just scream out and holler because you choose what you're doing. But you have to. The problem most of us have, we can't prioritize what's important. So in the first 5 years, it's critical. It's critical due to the initial in love feeling, often fade called the honeymoon period. See, couples must learn to navigate disagreement and challenges together. The first 5 years are when many couples are also dealing with other major life events, such as having children, which can add significant stress. Trying to pay debt that when you come together, you brought to each other and agreed to say, we're going to take care of that. We make that because we're now having Saturday. Now we see we can go fill a house with all new furniture. Or buy a house that's going to be bigger because we keep it up with the gym. Some people always get upset when I say that. Something that was said in the traditional years that you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. They got a big house, you want to have a big house. You're in your house that's comfortable for you and your family, but you won't cause your friends that will be moving out here in the eastern part of the state, or the community, the county. You feel like you have to. Can you afford it? It's your budget. Have you sit down and budget? If you're not paying it and you have a provider and protector doing it, then you need to consider them. What strain is going to be on my provider and protector? First 5 years are critical. Because often in those 5 years is described as a major time of adjustment. And couples who cannot adapt to their new life together, they're at a high risk of divorce in the first 5 years. Somebody said, well, you only talk about 20%. But think about 20% over 100,000 people. That's 1 million. That's 20,000 people that are divorcing. The first 5 years are critical. And as we talk about the 20%, let's take it and break it down and look at it from the first marriage to possibly the second marriage to the third marriage beyond. See, with the first marriage, it has the lowest divorce rate. And it's around, really want to be honest, around 41%. Compared to the second marriage, from 60 to 67%. And these numbers come from blackdemographics.com, come from your U.S. Census, comes from your U.S. Labor, and a lot of data dealing with many representatives who's working on seeing where marriages are. The third marriage is up to 73% that will fail in the first 5 years. Let's think about it. 41% the first year of marriages. Compared to the second year marriage, you got 60 to 67%. And to the third year marriage, a third marriage, it's 73%. These are the percentage of failures we have as a total population in the United States. 28% of our families or our communities or our culture is married. First year marriages are failing because those are beginning, coming, honeymoon phase years. So the highest risk we know is in the first, is critical in the first 5 years, but when we look at the first 5 to 10 years, it normally ends up, when you take all the averages, right at about 30% by year 10. It is critical. We must address this by doing vetting. You're going to have a time talking with young people, bringing them together, talking about future marriage. First thing you need to show them and share with them vetting, the vetting process. What makes you tingle is not what you marry. You need to make sure you have a good vetting. Do you and everyone on here have a good vetting process? Vetting means you're going to check those people out you have an interest in. I mean, taking that supercomputer, which is your phone, and checking on who you have an interest in. Go to Google. Now we got the use of AI. You can add AI, GP chat. It'll find whatever you need to find about that person. And if you want to pay and find a person site, you can, and you really will find out about that person. You need to vet those people before you even lie down with them. You shouldn't be going out and dating anyone unless you have some attraction to them, some sexual attraction, a romantic attraction to them. Say that romantic. Why are you going out on all these dates? I have no interest in people. You know what you can call a person that do that? There's a lot of people doing it. I've seen some content where you got people being on the first date want to take all their children along with them. Ain't nobody taking you out on a date to pay for you and your children. He may be kind, he may be caring, but don't try to make a fool out of it. Then you want to have a birthday party, invite all your friends, and you want your first time date or the guy you were to call yourself dating to pay for everybody. Right there. No, he gonna leave. I advise him to leave. He paying for everybody. He pay for their own meal. You're gonna pay for the person that you're taking out and celebrate birthday, but everybody else gonna pay. Don't try this. Don't try this. As we get ready to move toward wrapping this up, the question that I have: what do couples who live together before marriage, or why do couples who live together before marriage have a higher divorce rate? Why do they have a higher? What do you call a couple that live together before marriage? Cohabitation. It's associated with a higher divorce rate due to separation. Because you remember what I said. Everybody can send their representative that show up and be there for, if you said 90 days, 90 days. If you said 4 years, they'll be there 4 years. Then the fourth day, that last day of the year, last at the point where you started going to the 5th year, they'll really show up. They're going to show out. So if you cohabitate, then you're gonna find out about that person. The only way you're gonna find out about someone, not to just date them, is when you're married. You'll find out a lot about them. The little small things, even hygiene for people are different. What the food they eat. So when you're going out, you order what you want. When someone cooking for you, they cook what they like. It might not be what you like. So when you're talking about a higher divorce rate for cohabitation due to several factors, the inert theory suggests that cohabitation increases the chances for marriage, partly because constraints to stay together are present. However, just keep in mind, marital quality is low. When marital quality is low, don't do it. Don't get engaged. Don't get married. Because you already know enough about that person that tells you this ain't what I need. See, living together outside of marriage increases the risk of divorce. Because now you're giving them everything like you're married. Have nothing to desire from you in the future. Because you're giving them. And then you get mad saying, I'm staying because I thought he'll marry me after 10 years. He ain't bought a ring yet. If he ain't bought a ring, see, one thing I want everybody, especially women on here or females, a man will know within 6 months. I don't care what you say, how you feel about it. He'll know and say, a grown man, an influential man, a respectful man will know in 6 months whether he want to marry you. So if you just start a relationship or you've been in a relationship for 2 or 3 years and that person, that's on you. It's not on him. I'm asking you, hadn't told you the intention, but I'll tell you now, you need to move on. When people show themselves, believe what you see, run as fast as you can. It's okay. You can run. You can go do what you need to do. Find that possibility that someone had the same intention you have. You might want to be married, but you want to have a modern day marriage that you're free to do what you want to do, living apart together. That's what you might want. There's someone out there for that. But that person is not it. That person is not the person you think that's going to be committed to you. Because if they hadn't bought that ring, got on the knee in public, and asked you to marry them, they ain't married you. You keep putting pressure, they may do it, but you won't stay married on them. Because there's no quality there. The marital quality is low. That's why some of you want to live together. And you'll find out as they live together, even though they're not married, they cohabitate, this man have to be a provider and a protector. I don't care what anybody, he's going to have to be there. Because if he come there and can't pay no bills and can't take care of business, they're going to put him out. She's going to put him out. She going to insult him by getting on Facebook and all these different social media sites saying she just like, I have 2 kids, he was like 3 children. My 3rd child. He at home playing video games, you let him. He don't have a job. He won't go look for work, you let him. See, you got to accept the accountability here too. It's your responsibility to hold that person because you should have had the conversation intentionally in those first 2 months. Just remember, Additionally, living together outside marriage increase that risk of divorce. As couples move in too quickly without establishing love, love is an action. So let's get that straight now. Just because the person said, I love you, that's not an action. Action is showing. Love is showing what love is. See, when you move in together, all is going to lead to a longer relationship. That person don't think they have to be willing to be committed to you because you didn't require that person. You didn't have a conversation with. Don't blame the product. Blame yourself. And your retort. You know what your retort is? Well, people get married, they divorce in 2 or 3 years. Possibility. Just said 20%. First time married, it's possible. But that means 80% is staying married. Come on now, let's be real. We'll take them numbers, 80%, because right now, and we'll measure 28% is the lowest level of any group of people, our cultural people in the world. Black families, 28%. But we have 72% of single parents running homes and everything. We're comfortable with that. Things will not change. We're losing our culture. We're losing our communities. Our community is getting phased out. Whether it's bringing other cultures into our communities, taking and making sure we pay the housing and take care of them and give them the health care and don't do anything for our people in our communities. Or we in the community where the community become old and what they're doing is they are doing gentrification. And they destroy and they buying up all the property, people who can buy up the property and redoing the community. You're mad at those people, but you won't take time to hold accountable because you are part of the challenge. We prefer cohabitation. We prefer not being married at all. We prefer not staying longer than 5 years. We prefer that because we don't care about our community like we should. Get mad with me, I'm good. See, cohabitation before marriage is on the rise in the United States. With early research, identified it is a risk factor for divorce. However, despite changing social norms, premarital cohabitation remains a risk factor for sequential divorce. Based on a report that was done in 2023, the Labor Board did a report, found that married couples who have moved in together before getting engaged or married, over 48% more likely to divorce than those who do not. So it leaves 52%. It leaves 52%, but 48% adds into the number that leads us to only 28%. A researcher from the University of Denver said living together, these are researchers, before marriage is now a part of the culture. It's a part of the dating culture. Cohabitation may confer to a short-term benefit, casual, See, in a sense, for some people, it helps build trust and respect between their partner. Those are the short-term benefits for some people. But it also can lead to long relationships and divorce. Somebody say, oh, you can't be cohabitating in divorce. You know, some states allow you to become a law. You have to officially divorce it. Like you decided to be cohabiting. Now you got to dissolve that cohabitation. But your premarital cohabitation is something you need to consider. A lot of young folks like doing it. It's actually been associated with lower rates of divorce. Sometimes because people just not get married. That's why they're lower rates of divorce, because they're not getting married. See, the religious aspect is coming to consideration too. That's why you got many individuals say they are believers, they're not Christians, because they want to continue on with doing something outside of the belief. And the final thing we're going to talk about, and we are just about ready to wrap it up, even though we have gone over, because we started early, what does the future hold for 21st century marriages? Prediction is not an easy task. One common method employed to forecast marriage stability works by freezing current divorce rate at their present level and projecting out. In other words, we look at divorce rates of the current year for couples married 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 years, etc. And use those rates to form a artificial marriage path. That's what the sociologist Yafin Wan used to find that 42% of new marriages saying they will end in divorce. But we have to keep in mind, yes, in the 1970s and 80s, the divorce rate was low. Even in the 2000s, up to 2012, that was 64% of adults had married by then. As you look at the population, how the population is changing, is where we are today, where we have only 28% of our communities and cultural married. Culture cannot survive unless you have families. I don't care how much money you think you're going to make, how much money you do make. Your family, God, smile when he sees families. Not how much you desire, like money. It's when you lead a family to help our culture, when you do it, but you got to do it right for our community culture to survive. This is WDSW Radio, the number one internet. I am Dr. Elizabeth D. Smith. I'm glad I was able to come before you and talk about our topic for the day, which is modern marriages, or modern marriage and relationships are breaking up in the first 5 years. time and the energy and the effort. Don't be in it expecting one person to do more. You have to put just as much work in it as that your mate, as much as your spouse, your husband, or your wife. It only says on the husband to do more, and you feel like you have done enough. You both got to do more than is needed. Put the greatest time and effort for your marriage to be successful. If you're not willing to do it, unfortunately, you will fall in those categories where you go up to 60 to 67% for that second, 73% for that third. Will end up in divorce. If it's end up in there, if you have third, maybe you can try the fourth, fifth, sixth. This how many now you're going to do like my dad had a conversation with me and my brothers. He said, talked about marriage because he married, like I said, before my mom transitioned, it was 55 years. And they say, they continued to the last one of that marriage died. And he died in 2020. Mom died in 2017. I'm sorry, 2007. I'm sorry. So sorry about that. So it was 13 years later my father transitioned. And you put that there at 6 to 8 years. Because he didn't marry anybody else. He said this. He told my oldest brother, you miss your third marriage. Told me at the time, this is your second marriage. And told my youngest brother, well, you had had one marriage. He said, I want y'all to just think about it. Put y'all mind together. Who's the one that needs to put the work in? He said, who is the common denominator? And we thinking, and he said, well, I don't think no longer it's you all. You're the one got 3, you're the one working on number 2, and you're working on number 2 as well. You are the common. So you fix yourself and make yourself available to be the best version of yourself. I recommend you do that. Use the process of vetting, use the process of being intentional, and then be ready to work 100% in. It's not 50-50, it's not 80-20, it's not 60-40. It's 100% for both people. Putting the work in, putting the time in, putting the effort in. Take care of yourself, be blessed. I really appreciate you all and all you did tonight by supporting. We have many people we can give shout outs to. We thank you so much for being here. James T for jumping in here. Thank you, Lawrence, Michael, that is Jamis. Thank you so much. Chap, thank you. You said Chat GPT. Corn Hooks, thank you so much for joining us. We got many others. Thank you for the hearts, and I'm going to get a chance to give a shout out to all those hearts that was going up. Thank you so much. Storm, thank you so much for sending up hearts. Thank you. There are many others sending hearts up. Thank you so much for sending them up. Just hit the like button if you're still with me. Let me know you're here. Hit the like button. Nice to see the likes that you can put, because that's the way we operate, based on likes. It gives us an opportunity to really to look at where we are. 8 years, and thankful this is our 80th anniversary. God has been so good to us, but it's time for us to get out of here, because 1 hour and 28 minutes and 27 seconds. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the love you show, because I'm showing you the love back. It comes from my heart. And I truly want you to be safe, be blessed, take care of yourself, because God got you. And I'm praying for that. So as we're ready to get out of here, we want to kind of play something that relates to where we are. We have a clip that we want to play that we're better than we was yesterday. And we're going to get better tomorrow. And I want you to listen to this as you get out of here. And I want to say to you, I love you, and ain't a thing you can do about it. This is WBSW Radio, the number one internet station. I'm Dr. Lawrence D. Smith, and you'll be listening to me on an awesome show, Straight Talk, No Chase. Be safe, take care of yourself. Our show tomorrow is 1 o'clock, and that show is Dr. Lowe's Neighborhood, and we focus on our series. We're going to do it for 2 and 3 years, how we can make our boys or prepare our boys, empower our boys, groom our boys so they can be impactful men. We're the bridge, and we're thankful to be there. Thank you so much. So have an awesome rest of the night. Shout out to Paul. Thank you for jumping in. 50-50. Come on.